Hi, my name is Pierre, student number 142725-1. In the context of the assignment Architecture and Protocol, I am going to talk about the Internet of Things, cloud computing, and big data, and how do they impact on businesses today, and how can they add value to the business. So in order to talk about the Internet of Things, I will show you simulations through Instant Contiki, which is a software that will enable me to create a network of Internet of Things and run some tests on this network. For the cloud computing, we'll consider OwnCloud, and for big data, I will consider Apache. Unfortunately, because due to connections problem, I could not set up the cloud computing and the big data, so I will only do the simulation on the Internet of Things, but I will talk about cloud computing and big data. So the Internet of Things, what is it first? So the Internet of Things is the fact of it's a network of physical devices like homes, like any new device. Now it could be a home speaker, it could be a car, it could be a smartwatch connected, and all these kind of things. And now by adding an IP to them and linking them to the network, it enables those data to collect, connect, and exchange data with other systems. So the things now are connected from this new concept. So let's see now how the simulation into Instant Contiki is going to work. So that's my instance of Instant Contiki running in VMware. So Instant Contiki, I will use my password, which is user, and load the Contiki, the Kuja interface, which is on the Ubuntu virtual machine. So yeah, today we cannot not consider the Internet of Things when we see that every day more and more objects starts to be connected. Now it's quite common to have cars connected, or speakers, or home device like Google Home, for example, that connects other things inside the house to work with more integrity all together. So here is my instance of my Kuja software, which is where I am going to be able to start a simulation. As well, in terms of a business, how does Internet of Things help to enhance the business or make it better? It's all about the management of the data and the easiness as to share the data from these objects from one to the other. And this is how the connectivity within like a business would be faster, much faster, and much easier as well, which enhance obviously general performance of a business. So here is Kuja. So I'm gonna create a new simulation right here. So my IoT, my Internet of Things, and create it. So now we are into my simulation, my Internet of Things simulation. So here is the environment that we can see in Kuja. This is a to run like speed test and speed limit. This is all the output that are going to be brings by the going to come out of the different modes that I am going to put in the simulation. So for the view, I will put I would like to see the different IPs of my modes in the network. Unfortunately, same because of a network issue, I don't think we will see the IPs. The LEDs here, I would like to have a position on the grid and their position. So now I have my parameters for my network here. So this is what is going to appear from the different modes. Now I'm going to go to modes and add modes, create a new mode type. Mode type, we're going to select sky mode, which is a type of mode in future. Contiki process farmer. So here we need to browse one of the files of Contiki. So object sky, we need to use .c files, which are not here. Examples. Let's select sky example. We can run radio test and let's compute. Load this simulation into the previous network setup. So now I'm going to create, select a number of nodes. So to make it a bit more complex, I will select six modes and add these modes to my network. So now we can see the modes right here on the network. Where we see 0.0, this is where the normal IP address should be. But I have issue to put my virtual machine on a bridge network. From this network, we can start different types of tests, such as starting the simulation. And now we can see some output coming out from all the simulation and from all the different modes that are on the network. This can be after analyze and interpret in some way for the company to make it to be sorry, it can be interpreted by the company. Now I can choose to pause it and then save these files and then analyze it and get conclusion out of this on the network that I am analyzing. So now this was my presentation for the simulation of the Internet of Things. Now I would like to talk about own cloud. So I can show you where I had issues with OwnCloud. So this is my instance of OwnCloud installed on my computer. So what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a new concept that came out a couple of years ago now that become more and more common. It's all about share space for different users that would be considered as a cloud. You can access it from anywhere and many people can access it. How is this good for a company? This is all about sharing the information, and obviously in a company and mainly on the management part is all about how the information is shared and how efficiently it is shared into a company. That's where cloud computing now allows to share the work within different people in the company and different computers. and it's with a minimum of management resources needed to do this, because all the management is pretty much done by the user on his laptop to this cloud, so there is no third party in between. And this is a really good for business as well, that are large scale business and that have companies, for example, in different location in the world, so they can share this work efficiently and fast. Uh, Finally, I'm still waiting for this to start, but finally, I would like to talk about big data in businesses today. So, first, what is big data? It's described as a set of data that could not be processed by a normal data process mechanism. So big data is coming now from the amount of user that companies has and the amount of data that we have online. More and more data is taking more and more space, and of course the big challenges of the big data is all about capturing the data and storing the data, which is a big issue because data takes space, a lot of space, and analyzing the data is obviously a big part of big data. How is big data used for like big companies? Many companies uses big data as a way to identify trends into certain areas. So depending of their need for the business, they could use all the data from their company or other data considered as big data to identify trends for some sales or other types of analysis, and out of these trends enhance their business by selling more appropriate product to some people. A famous application of big data is the, it's used in marketing. Sorry, I forgot the name. It's used in marketing to analyze different trends. Like for example, in supermarket, which customers buys this thing, which amount of customers, and then send them by mail my email, for example, more focused ads or things like this. This is how it can like help a business. So this is the end of my video on for architecture and protocols. Thank you.